Hello, my dear little girls and boys. Today we are going to learn another interesting literature lesson. The Baby Monkey, Chapter 3. Before we start our lesson, let's refresh our minds from Chapter 2, The Island. Children, can you remember the animals they hunted for food? Yes, Fritz hunted an agouti. Ernest found some shellfish. And Jack found a lobster. The Baby Monkey, Chapter 3. Now let's see the characters of this chapter. Mr. David Robinson, he is the narrator and the father. Mrs. Robinson, she is the mother of the family. Fritz, the eldest son. Ernest, the second son. Jack, the third son. And little Francis, the youngest son. Next day, the Robinson family woke up very early. The hens and the ducks woke them up. So Mr. David Robinson said to his family, the first thing is to see if any of the seamen from the ship have reached the land. So Mr. David Robinson took Fritz to go to the seashore to see if any of the seamen from the ship have reached the land. Mrs. Robinson gave bags of food to take with them and they set out. They went along the seashore looking for the marks of feet in the sand, but they found none. So they returned away from the seashore, and after going about a mile, they came to a little wood. At every step, they saw some new and beautiful plants. Fritz, pointing at a plant, he asked from Mr. David Robinson, "What is this strange plant with these big things growing on it?" Then Mr. David Robinson said, "Ah, those are very useful. They are gourds." So they took some of the gourds and cut them open. Now we must take out the soft inside and leave the shell to dry in the sun. Then we can make spoons, plates and cooking pots. Men who have no iron or other metal make these things out of gourds, said Mr. David Robinson. So they opened a number of gourds and cut plates and spoons and pots from them, and they put them in the sun. They marked the place carefully so they could come back and get them later when they were dry. They went on and came to some land covered with very tall grasses growing high above the heads. "Now where have I seen such grasses? Was it in a picture?" thought Mr. David Robinson. They had to cut their way through the grasses. Mr. David Robinson's hands became very sticky, and he put a hand to his mouth, and then he remembered, "Come, Fritz, come here, cut open one of these grasses and put the soft part inside your mouth." So Fritz did so and said, "Oh, it's sweet like sugar." "It is sugar. This is sugar cane, the plant from which we get sugar. Let's take some of these plants. The others will be very pleased and surprised," said Mr. David Robinson. They went on and saw in front of them a lot of coconut trees. As they came nearer, they saw a lot of monkeys on the ground near the trees. But the monkeys saw them and ran up into the trees, making angry noises at them. Fritz raised his gun and Mr. David Robinson tried to stop him. "Stop! Why do you want to kill one of those monkeys?" Then Fritz said, "Because they are making nasty, angry noises at us. They are nasty, useless things. Or perhaps they are laughing at you. Why do you become so angry because you are being laughed at? They are right to laugh at an angry boy, and they aren't useless," said Mr. David Robinson. "How can you make a monkey useful?" said Fritz. So Mr. David Robinson gathered some stones and threw them at the monkeys. And the monkeys threw down coconuts at Mr. David Robinson. "There, an angry monkey can be quite useful," said Mr. David Robinson. "More useful than an angry boy. But I'm not angry now. Let me carry the coconuts," said Fritz. As they came to some more coconut trees, the dog Turk ran on in front. And they heard cries of pain and angry cries from the monkeys up in the trees. As they came nearer, they saw that Turk had caught one of the monkeys. Fritz ran forward to save it, but it was too late. The monkey was dead. Its young one was not far away. It was in the grass, crying out in fear. Then a very strange thing happened. As soon as the baby monkey saw Fritz, it jumped on his back and held on to his hair. Take it off, cried Fritz. So Mr. David Robinson started to laugh. "It has lost its mother, and so it has taken you as its father. Yes, I can see how like its father it is. Let me take it home. I'll get milk for it from the cow in the ship, and soon it will learn to find food for itself. Now, Turk, you killed the poor baby's mother. You must help me to be a father to it. I shall teach it to ride on your back," cried Fritz. Mrs. Robinson and the three boys saw them coming and ran out to meet them. They were very pleased to see the little monkey. When they reached the tent, they found a very good meal waiting for them. Several sorts of fish and a bird were cooking over the fire. Francis had caught the fish and Ernest had caught the bird. The sun was setting when they finished their meal. The hens went up onto the top of the tent and the ducks went into the grass near the stream. Fritz took the little monkey to bed with him. Follow the directions quickly. Take out your literature writing book and the textbook, page number 70. It's time to make smart choices. Can you answer these three questions? First one, what did they make from gourds? 2. What were the tall grasses they found? 3. How did they get coconuts? Please complete all the student notes of literature lessons. Stay safe and goodbye, and make your dear teacher happy.